So how does a brand mitigate potential risk when engaging in influencers? It's a question we get asked quite a lot, especially as the influencer market grows year on year and people looking to invest more and more money into it. There's obviously a lot of brand risks and negative PR around influencer marketing, around fake followers, engagement fraud, all these different things. And those are certainly things that you need to look out for as they become more and more prominent, as people try to basically con the system. But really what you need to be looking out for is brand fit, performance, and generally if the influencer is into your product. So I think brand fit is the first one we need to look at. That's the thing that really makes a difference as to whether or not your product is going to make sense in this influencer's content and this influencer's lifestyle. So that's the first thing you need to get right. Now that doesn't matter if they've got fake followers, fake engagement, it takes none of those things into consideration. So I think when you're looking at the brand fit, you need to look at, are the influencers creating the content that you'd create as a brand? Are they creating content that fits into the brand guidelines? All these different things that matter, and that will obviously mitigate risk in the first place. Mainly because they shouldn't be creating content that would go against your brand guidelines in the first instance. When it comes to performance, this is probably the hardest one to check and measure without actually running campaigns and running content with this influencer, but it is the most important. So how do you look at how this influencer is going to perform for you? Well, you look at their engagement rate, you look at the comments, because I think actually looking at just the likes, and especially as Instagram look to take away likes in the next few months, it's going to be more important to have a look at the comments. One, how many comments are they getting? Two, what are the quality of those comments? Are people engaging with the content, or are people just writing one line, one word, emoji answers? Because that normally means that it's either fake, it's bot, or people aren't really engaging in the content that's being produced. So really have a look at that, and that will identify whether or not this person is engaged with, has a loyal following, and also is going to be a brand safe fit for what you're trying to achieve. I think you also need to look at the briefing that you do with the influencer. I think that's a really, really important stage that people sometimes forget when actually looking at mitigating the risk of what the outcome is going to be. In order to get a bad outcome, you normally have to have a bad lead up. So the things that you really need to look out for are the brief, the communication we have with that influencer, the connection, the relationship you have with the influencer. All these things are very important, and people forget that because they have been so used to doing digital marketing over the last few years, which has always involved a computer. But this is the first digital marketing technique that actually involves a human being, and that requires human relationship. It requires empathy. It requires the ability for you to care about what these people are doing, how they're creating content, how they're going to involve your brand. And in order to get all those things across, you can actually get better results from it. And influencers respond far, far better to people that care, and brands that care for the content they're going to be producing, and also people that are a fan of their content in the first place than if they're not. So really empathize with them, work with them to create content, and the outcome will come from it too.